So I'm hoping it's not blurry anymore. We turned the Wi-Fi off. That's either going to make it worse or make it better. And I'm going to see if Mommy is trying to join, and she is not. Okay, so guys, this is welcome to the shit show that is called The Day Before Mother's Day. All right, I'm calling my mother. Oh no, that's not the right number. Wrong area code. Okay, sorry guys. 95. Okay, there she is. Yeah. Waiting for Judy. Waiting for Judy. We did it. I think this is better.
Okay. How's that?
I hope so. Okay. All right. So Lauren says she's standing by. Lauren is my youngest sister. She's standing by, camera ready for when this blows up in our faces once again. Okay. So, Mom, somebody, first of all, I want to give a shout out, Mom. I need to give a shout out to a lot of people who wrote saying, talking about women, mothers in their lives, grandmothers who are important. And I'm going to just read this list because it's important. Andrea, Sydney, Olive, Michelle, Georgette, Donna, Michiko, Marina, Gregoria, Londa, Mary Ward, Kathleen, Anne, Lois, Yvette, Sue, Laurel, Patricia, Colleen, Fior, Francesca, and Jane or Janie. I'm not sure how to pronounce, but either way, Jane or Janie, fabulous mom, mother. And so are you, Mommy. And so somebody wants to know, what was I like as a young girl?
As a young girl or as a little girl?
Well, it says young, so you can interpret that as you wish.
Well, as a little girl, you always dialogued things. That's one thing I remember. You would be sitting in the back seat of the car, and we'd maybe go out to the hospital where Daddy was, and we'd be waiting in the parking lot, and you would come up with a dialogue between you and Mickey Mouse and the Mouseketeers or whatever. You would pick up something in your mind, and you would play both parts, say both parts. And I could hear this going on in you all the time. And you would do that with your dolls. You would have them talk and be, you were very active-minded. And you were also had great expressiveness.
Okay.
You did not sit on your feelings.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting on them now either.
Yes.
Here's a question that I was wondering about in terms of like with me and Amy and Lori, what games do you remember playing with us?
Oh, games. Well, let's see. Well, we rode bikes a lot together.
A lot.
And did we play charades? I played a lot of charades, but I don't know. Did we play charades a lot?
Yeah, we played charades. Thanksgiving a lot. Remember with the cousins?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Charades were great fun, I think, for all. Oh yeah, because remember Lori with the iguana?
What?
Lori with the iguana. She was very little, and I'm sorry to bring in your sister here, but why not? And yeah, it says it was the night of the iguana.
Yeah.
She just got up and went, and they got it. Her team got it. So anyway, but and so other games we played. Monopoly.
Monopoly a lot.
Was like like
Candyland.
Right. Yeah. And then the other thing were plays. I mean, you guys just did plays all the time.
Oh yeah.
And
that's true.
Modern dance. You got all the guys in the neighborhood doing modern dance. That's great.
I know. They were grateful for it. Somebody's telling me that if I put headphones in, we're having a lot of technical difficulties today.
Put your headphones in.
Put my headphones in, so I have to find my headphones. So hang on, okay? Because we're having technical difficulties, which is just unbelievable. It's fucking Instagram. Okay. I'm going to put these in, and let's just see if that works.
Do I need
Oh.
like that?
Huh?
Do I need anything like that?
I have no idea. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Is the sound better, people? I don't know. You're fine. It's your lovely mother's audio this week. God damn it. All right. Well, anyway, we're doing the best we can. I'll turn it down a little.
If I put my audio sound up, does that help? Can I lift my sound up?
I don't know if that helps or not. Charlie, I need you to come in here and put the donation link in. Okay, so, Mom, can you say do you remember a best or worst gift you ever received on Mother's Day? Do you have any memory of that?
Hold on 2 seconds. Let me just think.
I think I can remember something.
Yeah, I don't ever remember a worst gift. No, truly. I do love gifts, and I have to say that almost anything qualifies. So.
Well, I remember it was either Amy or Lori, I don't remember who gave you once a bottle of men's aftershave as a present because it came in a bottle that looked like a lighthouse. Do you remember this at all?
I remember that. I remember that it was Avon that made that lighthouse thing. Yeah.
But it was men's aftershave, but whoever liked it because of the bottle it came in, and it was a very cool bottle.
Yeah, right. Very cool. Actually, that was sort of a collectible thing. That wasn't that bad. That you call that bad. I don't call that bad. I like that.
No, I don't call that bad either. I don't call it bad. I just remember it.
Yeah, right. That was fun. I'm glad you remembered that because that was actually very good.
Yeah, it's a good gift.
Yeah.
Mom, listen to this. Somebody tweeted earlier today, David Sobolov. I thought this was very touching. He sent a picture of his mom on Twitter, and he says, "My mom, Colleen Thurm, grew up in Peoria, Illinois, and sang with swing bands in the Midwest starting in 1942. By 1946, she'd made it to Hollywood and got close to having a big career, but it wasn't to be. I was proud of her for going for her dreams. Many don't even try." Isn't that a touching thing to say?
That's very touching. I love that. I love
that.
Yeah.
Very glamorous picture of his mom. I'm sorry?
We know our mother's stories.
Yeah, we sure do. Mm-hmm. And you're from Columbus, Ohio, and your mom, where was Dee Dee born? I forgot.
Born in Brookville, Pennsylvania, which is in the northern part of the state. Northern part of the state. It's a very small town. Mm-hmm. But then she went to nursing school in Philadelphia, and that's where she met my father.
Got it. And then they moved to Columbus when?
They moved to Columbus. Would have been in. Hold on 2 seconds. It would have been around the late. The 20s, the late 20s.
Hmm. And she was one of 5 girls.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the Riggs girls. And then she had you and your brother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when you were pregnant, did you always think you would have girls?
No, I always thought I was going to have boys.
Oh, really?
Because, having had an older brother, and for various reasons, I was a big tomboy, but I also liked the idea of boys stuff.
Yeah.
And, I always imagined that I would have boys, and one after the other, you girls came. And I remember that after Lori, who's the third of you girls, I had her at a Catholic hospital here in Washington, and and the nuns were there, and the nun said to me, "Well, we'll see you back here for your boy." And
Oh,
I said, well, since my grandmother had five, I think I know the direction I'm going in, and I think this is sufficient. So,
why
anyway,
did you have her in a Catholic hospital?
well, it was Georgetown,
Oh,
so.
I see. Yeah.
But they then had a lot of the nurses were nuns. They're not anymore, but a lot of the nurses were nuns.
We'll see you back here for your boy. How antiquated is that statement?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
They
Oh,
were
I
all,
remember.
don't be disappointed. Oh, it's fine. It never occurred to me what they were talking about. I didn't know. I kept saying to Tom, "Is something wrong with the baby?" Yes, that's a woman's story, isn't it?
Yeah, totally.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's incredible, actually. I remember because I was 9 and Amy was 3 when we went to go to the hospital because Lauren was born. And I remember my most vivid memory of that was that Daddy let us get candy at the hospital gift shop. And I remember that I got Junior Mints, believe it or not. And I was so happy to have Junior Mints. So it made having a new sibling that much sweeter. Isn't that funny? I wonder what candy Amy got. I don't know. I wonder if she remembers.
I think she might remember that.
She might.
That was
She might remember.
very heavily symbolic candy.
Yeah, it really was. Junior Mints. And I'm going to just again ask people, we don't have it now pinned into this tweet. And if my tech support, who's in his room somewhere, were listening, he could come and pin the donate thing to this. But at any rate, you can certainly find it on my Instagram page and on my Twitter page. Please go to Direct Relief. We're trying to raise funds for them. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because particularly nowadays, I think to me, Mother's Day this year has a huge, even bigger significance as so many people are ill and sheltering in place or quarantining or recovering. And, it's a time of taking care, which is feels very maternal to me anyway. Right. And so, and it feels like we're all very aware of taking care of ourselves and of those we love, and which is of course something that your mom, if you're lucky to have a good mom, does for you. And anyway, what a time, right?
What a time. Well, it's interesting to think about having babies because that's actually that kind of care. How we kept everything clean and sterile and everything. That's what's coming back to me now is almost having a new house, right?
Yes, totally, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone having to wash their hands all
Right.
the time. And
After you were born, I remember my brother came in and he was testing your suck reflex, and he put his finger in your mouth, not having washed his hands. I don't think just did that, and I had a fit. I was like, I thought that was going to kill you for sure.
oh my God. Well, I'm fine.
I'm so glad.
Yeah, weathered it.
Yeah.
Is the sound, by the way, can anybody tell me, is the sound okay? Is it better now? I'm certainly hoping it is. Maybe somebody will text me and let me know. Let me see if there's other questions, Mommy, that people have. Oh God, what advice would we offer a first-time mom?
Can you respond to that?
I think the advice I would offer would be I would advise a first time mom to just keep reminding herself that it's all going to be okay, that it's really all going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember as a first time mother being hyper stressed about any bump in the road.
Mm-hmm.
And, uh, but, and then I think by the time I had my second child, I was a little more relaxed about that. But there's something about having, uh, that first time I got very anxious that I was doing something wrong, or that, that there was some issue that I wasn't picking up on, et cetera, et cetera. So I would just say, it's going to be fine, which isn't really advice, but it's maybe a mantra that might
I,
be worth repeating.
yeah, I like that very much. I think that's so important. And what I remember was what your gynecologist said to you when you were leaving the hospital, or one of the last times that he saw you while you left the hospital after Henry was born. And he said, now, he said, the baby that's up here is over, and now you've got the real baby. You're carrying the baby, you've got this thought about this baby and so forth. And then all of a sudden you've got a real baby. And he said, there's not necessarily a big connection between those two things. You have to really observe your baby and take your cues from your baby and not from the story that you're carrying in your head.
The story you're telling yourself about the baby. Wow. That's a very philosophical comment. I remember you telling me he said that, but I don't remember. I had a C-section, so I was probably on Percocet or something when he said it, and I was just like, thumbs up, you know. Mom, what is it? What could you characterize the difference, or I mean, because now you're a mom, of course, but you're also a grandmother. Is there a big change in becoming taking on that role? Is that you could sort of describe?
Yeah, I didn't know it till it happened, but the being a parent is a responsible position, and you feel responsible probably for things that you shouldn't necessarily feel responsible for as your children get older. But that's what happens in parenting, is that there's that weight, and with grandchildren, that's gone. I mean, of course, there are some grandparents that are the caregivers, period. So they have to, I would select out from what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if your grandchildren have parents that are taking care of them, you have the joy of them, but without the responsibility. And so it's much freeing. You're free to love in a way that's more joyful and more just and more less fearful.
Mm.
And so I can remember just the weightlessness that I felt about my, not totally, but the weightlessness that I felt that I feel about my grandchildren, which is that I look at them and I have great joy in their presence. And not that I don't in yours and your sisters. It's just that I'm with you in a little bit heavier way.
Uh-huh. Right. That's that thing about don't worry, it's all going to be fine. It's going to be
Yeah,
okay. It applies.
yeah. And then of course about your Spock, I think it came up with the best phrase known to mankind, and that's the good enough mother.
Ah. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, you just don't have to be perfect. Just be good enough. Just
Good
be there.
enough. Yeah. That really takes the pressure off, because I think as women particularly, you definitely put a lot of pressure. Oh, bad sound. It's my headphones are saying. I'm taking them out.
These out here. Is that better? I hope. Can you hear me, Mom?
I can hear you fine. The sound can fine is because I'm
good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I don't know, but we're having so much. It's just so ironic that we're having technical. Yeah. See. Okay. Now Charlotte says yes. It's better.
You know what I love on the screen? They're like balloons coming up. What are they?
Oh, yeah. You know what that is? It's people push the heart thing, which means they're enjoying the conversation. Isn't that nice?
Oh, that's lovely, but it's like it's bubbling up. It's just lovely. I feel like I'm sitting in
Somebody wants to know, how did you pick my name, Mommy? I don't know that.
Well, because your dad, William, had an aunt named Julia.
Oh, right.
And she was your mother, Dolores' sister.
Was she the one who was a nun?
No, no, she not.
Oh.
That was a cousin. That was well, anyway, but no, she wasn't a nun. But she died. She died fairly early, and so that was her name, Julia.
Got it. Let's see. Somebody wants to know, what was the lamest lie I ever told you?
The lamest lie.
I don't really.
I'm thinking. In all honesty, I'm not trying to make you like George Washington or something, but
Mom, I am kind of like George Washington. Let's face it.
Yeah, in the wooden teeth.
These are wood.
And you chop down many a cherry.
That I would not do under any circumstances.
And somebody said the other day that I was listening to something, and they said, and to chop down a cherry tree, who chops down a fruit tree?
I know.
That would make him a terrible person. A
terrible person. I know.
But anyway, I don't have the feeling that you. I mean, I'm sure you didn't always tell me the truth, but I never knew it. So good luck.
Yeah. That's how good a liar I am.
I didn't know, so you'll have to keep that secret.
Mom, I lie to you all the time. You have no idea.
They're good at it. That's for sure. They're very good at it.
So a lot of people may not know this about you, but I'm going to tell them that at about 10 years ago now, Mommy, you started to write poetry, right?
About 10 years ago, now it's about what years there's now it's about 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Yeah.
And my mother here is a poet of great acclaim, and she's written 2 books, which I'm going to show. I brought them to show. The first one is called The Gatherer, and you can buy it on Amazon, and it's really good. And the second one that just came out is called Unlocatable Source. Also, you can get that on Amazon. And I'm very proud of my mom for I think it's actually remarkable what you've done, Mom, which is to find this career at this point of your life. It's so cool. Can you talk about how you came to it?
Oh, I came to it. I had been writing different things, and I came to it. I had given up writing for a time. Was gardening. I'm a gardener, and was giving all my time to the garden and to things like that. But then I had a huge a feeling of wanting, sort of melancholy, that I needed to write. And so I just began writing. And then we live in Washington, D.C., and they have a wonderful place here called the Writers Center. And so I took classes there, and then came upon a teacher there who's remarkable, who happens to head up the writing program at American University. And there was a group of us that came together under David Keplinger's auspices, and we have been together for 10 years as a class, as the same class that started with him, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
And hugely championing our work. He's been hugely helpful to me, and so forth. And so I think that in all the things I've done in my earlier life, I never, believe it or not, I never had a mentor. And here I have a mentor in David, and somebody that I completely, and somebody that has been able to reach into my poem drafts and to help me find out where the strength poem is and what to build on, and what is excess and what can go, and what's just scaffolding in the poem. So that's how it's happened, and it's happened with also the great trust that we're calling ourselves the Surrey Street Poets. We met in Surrey, in Somerset, here in Washington, and now we meet in our apartment, at Dad's and my apartment, and we trust each other tremendously. We're meeting on Zoom now that we're going through the pandemic, and we count on each other we know each other's work, and we count on each other to help us find the best poem that we can offer.
Mm-hmm. So I just love it. I love that this has happened for you and that you've pursued it so vigorously. It's just so fantastic. I mean, it really is. And you didn't even mention that you used, or did you just mention Iona House?
I didn't mention Iona.
Yeah. Iona House is this place in Washington, D.C., where my mom used to teach poetry to seniors there for many, many years, without knowing that she herself was going to become this huge poet. What, Mona?
Yeah, I was going to say for 12 years I did that, and I had them writing poetry, and they had never written before, but we ended up with 3 volumes of poetry that were published, and we were on the radio. It was really quite wonderful. But I never wrote a word of poetry during that time. Actually, I did write one poem, but I got them writing, and I just, and then I went back and got to AU and got my MFA in writing, and then it began. But it's a huge gift to write. It's a gift to yourself to bear witness to your own life, and to begin to be able to reach within yourself and make things clearer and bring up things that you don't even have the answer to, and that you never will, but that are there in your life. So
good. That's a perfect way to put it. You want to read a poem?
Oh, well, the poem that I'd like to read one poem if I could, and the poem is about my mother. It's really about my father and my mother. It's about my mother and the kind of work that mothers do. And my feeling is that mothers are the ones who we turn to for at least in my situation, that you turn to for the support and the thing that keeps you from falling off the roof. And this was a time when I was traumatized by my father leaving for the Navy, and I suffered from it. I suffered amnesia. And I didn't know that nobody knew exactly. They never added those things together, but they just knew that I suddenly forgot all the math tables. And so it was my mother who, night by night, helped me to get them back, get my multiplication tables back. So it's called Aftermath. At age 11, my numbers froze and refused arrangement. As in the add, subtract, divide, multiply, 5th grade workbook. And my dry tongue caught flame that swept away memory from the roof of my mouth. It was spring. I didn't care. I stopped doing math and rode my horse. She was frisky after winter, wanted to gallop. I let her, to her heart's content, until her sweat sprayed like suds into my eyes, and it was over. My father had carried a suit from the guest closet into his bedroom and put it on. The fabric was dense, the buttons cold against my cheek. Out the screen door, the cigarette butt he flipped made a high flying off into the shrub. He went off to the Navy like he was going to work at his office. My mother, distracted, sat on my bed every night doing times with me. Her hands were full with an ashtray, a cigarette, my math book. She passed along numbers like stones. I took them, placed them where they belonged. We built a wall of the things I couldn't forget. It was the hardest job Mother and I ever had. And I will be grateful for her sitting on my bed and night after night going over that. And she may have had some clue as to why I had forgotten what this amnesia was about, but we never talked about it. She just simply retaught them to me, and I felt safe with her.
Mm-hmm. That's a really nice memory, because I know she was very complicated as a mom, but the fact that she had the instinct to do that, and maybe it was only an instinct, but it reaped great reward for you, obviously. Yeah. It was a tender gesture, but it was more than a gesture, needless to say.
Right. I still can get a little anxious about math from time to time. There was one time I was doing our checkbook, and I gave to Comcast. I looked at our balance, and I made a check out for the balance and sent it to Comcast. So all of a sudden, our checks began to bounce. And Comcast called and said, do you want us to use this? It was a sizable amount of money. You want us to use this and debit your... So Dad is taken over now with some of that, because I'm likely to give it all away. I can.
That's fine.
I want to give it to a good cause if I give it.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I want to just give a shout out to some recent donors who gave. Jackie, Jerry, Ellen, Sarah, Lisa, Irene, Brandy, Gianna, Maria, and Lily, Phil, James and Evelyn, and Troy. And we only need $250 more to get us to $60,000. So maybe somebody would like to be a part of helping us hit that mark. That would really be exciting. But
yeah.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's so good, honey. That's so good. Yeah.
A lot, speaking of moms helping with math and stuff, so lots of people are homeschooling right now, or everybody is. Schools are closed. So parents are put in the position of teaching, which reminds me of when I was little. I was 6 or 7, and we were living in Sri Lanka, and I was going to a school that was very advanced in math and very behind in English and reading and writing. And so I would go to school, and then I would come home in the afternoon, and you and Daddy would tutor me. And speaking of math, and Daddy, and this is a great memory I have when it comes to math, which is that he taught me my multiplication tables. I guess this must have been 2nd grade. And he taught me my multiplication tables by singing them, and we would dance. We would dance and sing them. And so, we worked it out into like a number. And as a result, I learned my multiplication tables.
Yeah.
Isn't that genius of him?
I'm glad you remember that. That was so wonderful. That was so wonderful.
I thought so too.
And when we came back to this country, you were in the middle of the 2nd grade, and you were right up to snuff with all your classes.
Right. And you did reading and writing, and we read Reader's Digest, which I don't even know, is Reader's Digest even around anymore? I have no idea, but
they had a special books for reading for kids.
That's right.
And I had gone to a school here in Washington, and I knew that they did not have English texts at the school in Ceylon, in Sri Lanka, well, then Ceylon.
Yeah.
And so I got these books to take with us, and they were reading books, and they were, and they had little workbooks and little things that were there, but they were stories too.
Yeah. And then we would read the stories, and then it was reader comprehension and answering questions. And I remember loving to do that too. That was really, but that was a lot. That was a lot on you guys to have to pull that off. I feel for the parents who are having a homeschool right now. That is hard work on top of everything else, right?
so much while they're working, and then they have their schooling to oversee. Yeah, they're full.
So I'm trying to think. Now, let me ask you. I'm going to ask you just a couple more questions, and then I think we can end our chat. But I wanted to. I thought this is maybe something to ponder. You may not have an answer for it, but is there something that you wish you knew then, early on as a mother, that you know now? And adversely, is there anything you're glad you didn't know? That's a hard question to answer.
Yeah. You girls have occasionally, to start with the second one first, you girls have occasionally told me of heartaches that you had in life that I didn't know at the time. And I'm very mixed about that, because I actually wish I had known that I knew you didn't keep a lot of suffering to yourself, but you did keep some, and your sisters did too. And I don't mean anything so major, but it would be nice. I feel that I wished what I learned, I wish that I had known earlier. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't first. What was your first question?
Well, is there anything you're glad you didn't know?
Yes, there were some dangers that you all had that I'm glad I didn't know. Because yeah, thank you. I'm the danger things. Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't know those.
Yeah,
because they weren't dangerous I could have done anything about. So yeah.
Right, out of your control.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Mom, guess what?
Yeah.
We made it. We're over $60,000.
Oh, honey, I'm so happy about that. And those workers are, I said, they're angels. They are angels. They deserve every penny that we can give them. Everything that we can give them. They're giving everything for us.
I know. Isn't it incredible? I know. And we know it's so many people, our family knows so many people who are the beneficiaries of these people, these angels. And so we are really, really grateful on gratitude on top of gratitude. A special thanks to Alyssis and Courtney too, who helped to get us over the top. So that's really good.
By the way, Daddy and I are contributing also.
Thank you, Mommy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. All right. Well, this was fun.
Yeah, this was fun. So listen, I hope you're going to have a good Mother's Day.
I hope you are too, Mommy. What are you going to do?
Going to have a nice dinner. And what I'm hoping is that maybe if the day is nice, which is not this, but we're freezing cold in DC, we're going to have snow in a little bit. Can you believe that?
No.
And so it's windy and cold, and it's maybe going to be that way. But in case it's a nice day tomorrow, I would like to have a picnic out. I would like to go. We can go up to there's a garden that's gorgeous. It's not crowded, and go up there and take sandwiches, and that would be fun. And then just have a lovely dinner. And then Daddy is not going. I said to him, no flowers this year because I don't want anybody going to a store to buy them.
Yes.
And he's going to draw me a picture of flowers.
Oh, that's nice.
And I've got the colored pencils and everything. So we're just all set.
Let me show you. I gave myself a Mother's Day present. Let me see if I can get them. Look at those.
Oh, honey, I saw them in the beginning. Those are your poppies, right?
Yeah, those are the Mattia poppies. I went and foraged them on the road, and I'm so happy to have them.
They are so gorgeous. They are so beautiful. And here in Washington, our peonies are blooming, which is incredible.
Which is I think my all-time favorite flower ever.
Well, they're just blooming all over the place, and I was just it's so early, and it's been so cool here, so I don't know why it's happening. They're wonderful. I have some pictures that I took of them, and of but those poppies they look like a fried egg, don't they?
exactly like a fried egg. In fact, the first time I ever saw one of these, I thought it was fake. But
yeah, it does. It looks fake. Exactly.
it does look fake. It doesn't have a smell, though, really.
Uh-huh.
No, it's actually not a great smell. It's a faintly bad smell, but whatever. It's so pretty. We endure it anyway.
Yes.
All right. Well, listen, Mommy, I hope you have a happy Mother's Day. I have a feeling we'll be talking tomorrow.
I think we will indeed. And so, and I'm glad that there's a Mother's Day. I think it's wonderful. And you're right, especially this year. It's an important year for all of us to cherish what we have.
Cherish what we have. Cherish our mothers. I cherish you, Mama. I love you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Love you, Mommy. Now, do you know how to push end?
Yes. Yeah, I just put the X, right?